President of Togo, His Excellency Ibrahim Gali, Sahrawi Republic, His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, Democratic Republic of Congo, our sister, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu, Tanzania, His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Somalia, His Excellency Oligui Nguema, Gabon, His Excellency Daniel Francisco Chapo, Mozambique, His Excellency Taye Selassie, Ethiopia, and His Excellency Salva Kiir, South Sudan, and the Vice Presidents. So, Your Excellencies, I welcome you to Uganda, and I thank you so much for showing solidarity with us. Now, among these excellencies who are here, you, the Ugandans, especially the Bazukuru, the young people, Abazukuru Jemuli, Jemuli naye singa temufayo kubitegereza. Mutomera butomezi. Twarije. Nze jaja nkyali wano. Ngenda kubasomesa. I'm telling these grandchildren, Your Excellencies, I'm telling the grandchildren that they don't know much of the history. So on this occasion, I want to thank the people of Tanzania because we are here celebrating how Uganda is developing now, how UPDF is strong and so on. But the one who gave us the foundation was Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere. And I'm glad Her Excellency Samia is here, and I'm telling you in her presence, I'm telling you people. So never forget Tanzania. Then we have got a very tall man. I had not met him before. Our son from Mozambique, the tall man. You stand up and they see you. He's a very tall man. He's the new president of Mozambique. Mozambique, working with Mwalimu, are the ones who helped us to build this force which you see here. The 28 people I trained in Montepuez, 1976-78, are the ones who built this army which you see here. Then there is the Vice President of Kenya. When Ugandans were running away, many of them would run to Kenya. So those countries in particular, I want you to know how they helped us. I thank all the excellencies who have come here, and the vice presidents, and the prime ministers, and the ministers who have come here. They have shown solidarity with us. I thank them so much. Now, Your Excellencies, the visiting heads of state, heads of government, and heads of delegations, Her Excellency the Vice President of Uganda and other leaders, all the wananchi, especially the Bazukuru, muri mucha Bazukuru. N'Abanyayuganda balala bonna nafe abakadde temutwerabira. Habari nzuri wote. Mungu asifiwe. Apoyo Lubanga yebazibwe Katonda. Congratulations on the series of elections that we have been having ever since the 15th of January 2026. These were the presidential and parliamentary elections, district chairpersons, district councillors, sub-county chairpersons, and sub-county councillors. I especially congratulate our party, the NRM, for winning all those elections with big majorities. Abana-Uganda, mwebale kuwagira NRM. I also congratulate the other parties, such as the DP, the UPC, ETC, that participated in the elections without using violence, and like the party of NUP and some few elements of FDC that were using violence. The parties under IPOD should clearly lay out agreed guidelines on the do's and the don'ts of election management, according to the laws and the Constitution of Uganda. This Kisanja Excellencies, is our term for a period. This Kisanja should be regarded as a Kisanja of no more sleep for all Ugandans. Kino ekisanja twetwetaaga abantu okwebaka ate nibekwasa kino nibekwasa kiri songa eddagala liwe liri. This Kisanja should be regarded as a Kisanja of no more sleep for Ugandans. With the advent of the NRM ever since 1986, the families that cared to listen to our message got out of poverty. Amaka agawuliriza okwabula kwaffe ne bakola bavada mu bwavu. I'm telling my Ugandans that the families who have listened to our advice and worked the way we advised them, they got out of poverty. Do you want proof? Mwetaaga obukakafu kambubalage nze nkozesa firimu sikozesa lugambo. Show us the real estate around Kampala. Show us. Mutulage. Show properly, don't switch off. You see all those houses? All those are new houses. And they are built by your own Ugandans. They are not built by foreigners. Yes, there are poor people in Uganda, but there are also those rich people you see there who listened and took advantage. Look at the real estate explosion. Uganda. In the last elections, I reminded you of the Matafari in Uganda, contributions that the NRM has put on the House of Uganda in the last 40 years. Excellencies, during the campaign, I told these young people that NRM in the last 40 years has put a matafari, which is our word for bricks, has put 7 matofari on the House of Uganda. In other words, the NRM has made 7 contributions to Uganda in the last 40 years. The first one, peace brought about by the NRM ideology of rejecting the politics of sectarianism caused by the reliance by the opportunists on the ideology of emphasizing identity of tribes, identity of religion, instead of emphasizing the interests of wealth creators that depend on their own sweat and developed countries. This is brick number 1. When we rejected the politics of sectarianism, of identity, of tribe, of religion. That's how we're able to unite the people. That's why we win on the first round, because the majority of the people are always with us. All these Bisanja, all these terms, 7 terms, we have never had a real run. We have never had anything below 50%. Why? Because we emphasized the politics of unity, not the politics of sectarianism, not the politics of identity, religion, tribes. If you say religion, there's no religion in Uganda which is majority. If you say sectarian tribe, there's no tribe which is majority. We will not get these numbers. So this is brick number 1, which we put on the Uganda House. Second point, development in the form of economic infrastructure, such as roads, electricity, the piped water, the railways, airports, telephones, etc., and social infrastructure in the form of schools, health centers. You can see some of those there on the screen. Number C, the brick number 3, wealth. You remember, I've been telling you, Enkula Kulana, in Swahili we say, maendeleo. But you can have maendeleo, in Swahili we must also have utajiri, wealth. So some people have been talking of roads, railway, electricity, but they never talk about wealth. And this is a mistake. So, from the beginning, we have been telling you that maendeleo, enkulakulana, development, yes, but utajiri, wealth, must be there. Obugaga. And the wealth is by whom? Utajiri ni wa nani? Unaweza kuwa utajiri wa serikali, utajiri wa watu binafsi, utajiri wa familia, utajiri wa company. The wealth can be for the government, parastatal, can be for the individuals, can be for the family or companies. So it is very crucial. And in the case of Uganda, we have been telling you that the wealth is in the 4 sectors: commercial agriculture, manufacturing and artisanship, services, and ICT. If you want wealth, these are the 4 sectors where wealth is. Then number 4, it is now the wealth. Once people create wealth, the wealth creates jobs. You cannot have many jobs without wealth. Huwezi kuwa na ajira ya kutosha bila kujenga utajiri wa serikali, wa binafsi, wa familia, wa company. Kujidanganya huko kuache. Mwache kujidanganya. Muleme okwelimba. Tusobola kubeera n'emirimo awatali bugagga. Then brick number 5 were services. Service delivery. The government must provide some services like security, like health, like justice. Those are done, education, those are done by the government, and the government has done it. Then number 6, market, soko, tukizalisha mali, sisi wazalishaji mali, nani atanunua bidhaa zetu kwa wingi? If we create wealth and produce products, who will buy our products? So that's why the NRM, from the beginning, with our elders, Mwalimu, Nyerere, Kaunda, all of them were clear. You cannot talk of development without market. We must unite East Africa, unite Africa, so that we have a market that can absorb the products that we produce. The United States is a powerful country because they have got their parents created a big market for them. If I was in the USA, I would be a billionaire by now, because the market is there. You produce something in New York, it can be sold all the way to California. But here in Africa, the market was fragmented. But thanks to our partners in East Africa, we have united the East African market. All these leaders you see here, many of them are members of East African Community, of COMESA, of the African Union, the CFTA. So the market is now there. Then in the case of East Africa, we are talking of the political federation also, which will deal with the issues of security. Now, the NRM has been telling you that out of the 7 bricks, NRM has put peace is now there, infrastructure is there, the service delivery of health care and schools is there, the market of East Africa is there, the market of Africa is there, we can also access the international market. So the problem is you now to do your part. And your part is in 2 areas. Wealth creation. Be part of wealth creation. Tozira bugaga, nzenedira bugaga. Nzinjagala bwavu. Tombure ebyo bugaga. be part of wealth creation. And once you create wealth, you should also create jobs. Now, during the campaign, I showed you the examples here. Let's see them, some of them again, a few of them. Basangwa.
Basangwa Johnson, Managing Director wa Jaka Poultry Farm. Jaka Poultry Farm yaganibwa Bukwenge, Kamuli Municipality, Kamuli District. In 2007, twatandika obulunzi nga tutandikira mu Kamuli County Council by then, mu plot yali 50 feet by 100 feet. There's a foot atano kikumi eda itaka. Tutandika tutya. Twali nga tulina ebyobufuzi wano mu Kamuli nga waliwo ensonga nga chairman wero C5 omugenzi Kaguta bamwedukira Katonda mu ekimuli eky'emirembe nga bamutoyiremu abantu bangi abaatamu application nga bali kwenda okufuuka ba chairman ba 5. Aye president yaida yatulungamya yakuba tubana abantu mwena mwena tumusobola kuba ba chairman ba 5. Aye abantu mujje mukola emirimu egingi ng'okulunda yayogera kulunda embidi okulunda enkoko byonna yabyogeraku. Nze napikinga mu kyokulunda enkoko n'atandika efaamu mu 2007 n'enkoko 5. Sawa dino wendogerera ku faamu kuno tize mabega ntambwire. President yaida yankyalira mu 2010 nga nina enkoko 5 yasanuka ino. Sawa dino tutambwire tulina enkoko mitwalo 10 tufulumya amagi etulo 2,000 buli lunaku. Etulo 2,000 livaamu miliyoni 2 buli lunaku. Omwezi liba miliyoni 6. Omwaka tuba tuli mu biliyoni ze 6 n'ekitundu etuba tukaki tuyingiza. So tuwulirisa omulamwa gwa president okuva ku kiseera ekyo kakati katukigiireku. President awaire musanhufu ino ku bintu byenkoze era nga buli kaseera nkyekingako. Wendogerera kati tulina abakozi 300 betukozesa.
Now you remember I was giving you the example of Basangwa. In 2007, I found them fighting for the position of district chairperson, political position. There were many of them. I advised them, why do you all fight for politics? Why don't you look at wealth creation? And I told them what to do, which we have been telling you from 1996. The 7 activities that you can do on a small scale in agriculture and you get out of poverty. Basangwa listened to my advice, and he had a small plot of 20 feet, is it 50 feet by 100, I think. He started rearing chicken for eggs. So he's now a rich man, getting more than 7 billion shillings a year now. But not only is he a rich man now, but he's now employing 300 people. So a poor man who had no wealth, who had no job, now is a rich man, but also has created jobs for 300 other Ugandans, those ones you see there. Then we go to Joseph Ijara of Serere.
Hello, my name is Joseph Ijala. I am the proprietor of Taifa Farm, which is located in Serere in a place called Kakusi, where we are. And in Taifa we have dairy, poultry, and we also make laundry basso. But we also have the value addition aspect of the farm, where we produce yogurt and packaging it for the market. This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency, the President of Uganda, when he had come here and was teaching for about the 4-acre model. He was having a rally in Soroti, and that time I was working as a taxi driver. He was doing that Massa business in Soroti. So when I heard this, when I heard he was around, I crossed to go and listen to his story. And he was talking about a 4-acre model, how to improve household income. So when I came back, I was fired because I delayed there at the exterior post. And the guy said, you go and eat those words that you had. But I had already this land, 2.5 acres, but I also had local chicken here. But after hearing that, I got inspired to put more effort on raising this chicken. So I raised the chicken to the tune of about 100 of them. Then I got a small incubator. That was about 4 eggs. So I used that incubator for multiplying my local chicken farm. Eventually I was having 1,500 local chicken around. I was very famous for local chicken. So but then local chicken were not answering my day-to-day needs. So I decided to translate it to layers. In Teifa farm we have 10,000 layers, which give me about 310 trays per day, and each tray goes at a price of 10,500. So approximately about 3 million shillings a day from the eggs that we get.
Now that is Joseph Ijara of Serere, who was wasting time as a taxi driver getting little money. So when he heard my speech, he had 2.5 acres back home. He went back and started rearing chicken for layers, for eggs, and dairy. Now he's getting a lot of money. He was saying that he's getting 3 million shillings per day from the eggs alone. But when I went back in the campaign, he's now getting more than 6 million shillings per day. That Ijara. Now, there is Nyakana. Let's see Nyakana now.
My name is Nyakana Richard from Rwengaju. This village is called Rwengaju village in Karabarole, Potpoto City. And where we are here is my home and it's my farm. The biggest landlord in this village of Rwengaju is having 7 acres. People are surviving on 1/4 acre, 1/2 acre. 80% of the population here, they are on 1/2 acre, they are on 1/4 acre. This farm and this home is seated on 1.25 acres. It is surveyed land. And 1 acre of land here, where we are here, is costing 80 million Uganda shillings. It is very expensive to buy land. Our farm is called Kana Farm. It is having 4 economic activities. Number 1, we are in zero grazing of dairy cows. Number 2, we are in poultry, majorly for layer birds. Number 3, we are in feed processing for livestock. And number 4, manure production.
The screen is disturbing us.
With the poultry, we have 8,500.
But Nyakana is using 1.3 acres. He earns net more than 240 million shillings a year and is employing 15 people. Now, this is in 1.3 acres. Uganda has got 40 million acres of good arable land. if only 7 million acres were used the way Nyakana has done it here, just 7 million of the 40 million would create 105 million jobs, more jobs than the whole population of Uganda. I have reminded you that Uganda is a very good rubber land. If only 7 million of those acres were used the Nyakana way, would create 105 million jobs in small-scale commercial agriculture alone of the 4 acres model or less, and the 7 economic activities. This is before you talk of the big-scale commercial agriculture, such as Madvani, where employs 14,000 people at Kachira, before you talk of the manufacturers that are now employing 1.5 million people. Now, you can say, you Museveni, you are always talking of small people, of 4 acres and less. The Basangwas, the Ijaras, the Nyakanas. Oh no, you are mistaken. I support the big ones also. Let's see Madvani. Show us Madvani if you are not asleep. The one of the screen. You want the big ones? There they are. The big ones are there. But we struggle with the smaller ones because they are the ones who don't know what to do. The big ones, most of the time, know what to do. Or before you talk of the services such as hotels, like Sheraton, which employs 400 people. Let's see the employees of Kachira, the employees, the workers there, let's see. They are employing 14,000 people in Kachira. Let's look at Sheraton. Sheraton is employing how many people? Sheraton, if you have it. Sheraton is employing 400 people. Let's look at Mbare. Those are employees of Sheraton. See how smart they are. Let's look at Mbare Industrial Park. Mbare Industrial Park. Freeze it. Go back a bit. Freeze there. You can see how many young people are employing in that industrial park. It has got now, when I was last there, it had like 80 factories, and it was employing 20,000 people. This is just one of them. So, the message of the NRM is 2 words. Wealth, Obugaga, Utajiri is the one which produces jobs. Ajira, I think in Swahili they call it Ajira. Emirimu, Jivambugaga. The four sectors, commercial agriculture, manufacturing, service, and ICT, for now have both low and high-skilled jobs. So don't say, you Museveni, you are talking about only low-skilled jobs. Yes, the Nyakana jobs, the ones of Basangwa, those are low skills. But let me show you the high-skilled jobs. Chira, show them Chira Motors. Chira Motors. And the Karuma. Now, all those are skilled workers. Let's see the ones of Chira. Obadeki. Alambaire. Kulambara. Yebase. Balambara ira. Now, those are all high-skilled workers. Let's see what they are producing. Show us the buses. When they get out of sleep, they will show us. Let's continue. So, those are the buses now. Produced by your own people from zero. Totally designed and produced by. There is crying about petrol in the world. For us, we shall go electric. If the petrol disappears, we have got electric buses here. We have no problem. So, the challenge of the NRM is that there is peace, there is infrastructure, there is services in schools and health centers, there is market of Africa, but you must be engaged in wealth creation as an individual, as a family, or a company. And then the wealth you create will produce jobs. And in the case of Uganda, we have got the 4 sectors: commercial, agriculture, big or small, manufacturing, services like hotels and ICT. The 4 sectors, commercial, agriculture, manufacturing, services and ICT, for now have both low and high-skilled jobs. In 2013, only 32% of the homesteads in Uganda were in the money economy. At independence in 1963, only 9.4% were in the money economy. On account of the work of Operation Wealth Creation and PDM, the homesteads in the money economy are now 67%. The other 33% are still outside, but must also join the money economy. When all the families in Uganda join the money economy in the 4 sectors, there will be so many jobs that all our nearly 2 million refugees from the brother countries of Africa that are here will get jobs, and we will have to import other workers from the brother African countries. With more value addition for our agricultural raw materials, our mineral raw materials, our forest raw materials, plus our knowledge economy of automobiles, vaccines, pharmaceuticals, and electronics. There will be more people in manufacturing, services, and ICT than in agriculture. This is where we need to retune our educational system to concentrate on imparting skills to learners that are needed in the labor market, and scale down on random education, or be clear to the learners and parents that certain courses are just for interest and may not create jobs for the wielders of these skills. In Uganda here, we are always talking about the importance of value addition that I've just mentioned here. With the presence of so many African brothers and sisters and friends from outside Africa, I cannot fail to point out the strategic mistakes many of the African ruling elites have been making for the last 70 years, ever since the independence of Sudan, Khartoum, in 1955. The mistake of exporting unprocessed or semi-processed raw materials of minerals, agricultural products, etc. This is a strategic blunder. Let us take gold as an example. If you export a kilogram of unprocessed gold, 84% pure, recently you have been getting US dollars 60,000. If the gold is processed to 99.9% purity, you get US dollars 168,000. Look at the difference in value. However, you do not only donate money to the outsiders per kilogram of gold, per kilogram of coffee, you also donate jobs. All those refining jobs go to the outsiders. That is not all. At 84% pure, that gold cannot be used as bullion, as currency, nor can it be used as an input in other industries, such as jewelry, electronics, aerospace, etc. That is one of the reasons Africa's economy has remained stunted 70 years after the African countries started regaining their freedom. Africa is 4 times the land area of the USA and 12 times the land area of India, with a present population of 1.5 billion people that will be 2.5 billion in the next 30 years. Yet our total GDP is only US dollars 3.6 trillion, while that of the USA is US dollars 32 trillion, China 20.65 trillion, India USD 4.18 trillion. This hemorrhage must stop. That is where here in Uganda, we banned the export of unprocessed minerals and try to get people to address value addition here for all the other raw materials that make profits. In the African economies, we must ensure both vertical and horizontal integration. Africa's GDP should at least be 60 trillion US dollars, if not more. Our friends from outside of Africa should also help us to achieve this. If they see far, they will see that this is also in their own interest. If you are a clever capitalist, why would you want to do business with a poor man with a small purchasing power? I regard myself as a clever capitalist. I produce milk. I want many Ugandans and many Africans to buy my milk. However, they cannot buy my milk unless they have money in their pockets. Luckily, I am both a clever capitalist and also a Christian, as well as a patriot. And I therefore love God with all my heart, and I love my neighbor as I love myself. I'm therefore working feverishly to put money in the hands of Ugandans for them to get out of poverty, improve their purchasing power, and also improve their milk consumption per capita from the present 60 liters to 210 liters recommended by WHO for the sake of the calcium of their teeth and their bones. I also pray the same happens in the whole of Africa and the world. The phenomenon of Uganda having more jobs than local labor force is not new. The small enclave economy of the British times, the economy of the 3 C's and 3 T's, could not get enough workers locally, although it was only covering 9.4% of the homesteads. That is how our brothers from Rwanda, Burundi, Kenya, South Sudan, Tanzania came. You listen to our message and wake up, kuzukuka, given our raw materials base of Uganda, the present population of Uganda of 48 million people will not be enough to manage a developed Uganda. In small-scale agriculture, in order to support PDM with zero grazing chicken, pigs, goats, turkeys, sheep, cattle, we must solve the problem of water up to the whole household level, or up to at least the village, where one can use a wheelbarrow to bring the water to zero grazing areas. The current woman MP for Ntungamo, the Honorable Jocelyn Kamateneti, has developed an interesting model that uses solar-powered water pumps and wells, Amaziba, Oruzi, in the areas of Uganda that have got Enshuro spring. She uses 8.1 million shillings for a village. The homesteads can then use wheelbarrows to bring water to their homes. How can this model be adapted to the boreholes for the areas with no Enshuro? With fish farming, before I go to the fish farming, I wanted to show you Wagagai in Busia, the value addition to gold. If you have it, show it quickly. Now, freeze that one. Each one of those is fully refined gold in Busia. And each one is a kilo. And each one is now costing $168,000. If you sell and process gold, 84% pure, a kilo, you'll get only $60,000. So you see the wastage. Africans are really in trouble. How can you throw away your wealth like that? You are losing more than $100,000 in every kilo of gold. And then you say you solve your problem. How would you solve the problem? with fish farming in the meager edges of the wetlands, the government will help the communities with the earth-moving equipment to make the fish ponds, the solar-powered water pump, to pump water and aerate with oxygen and protect the fish against snakes. The issue of fish fries, and fish feeds is also being addressed. The support for all the other sectors, big commercial farmers, manufacturing, artisanship, services, ICT are contained in the government's Fourth National Development Plan, NDP4. No more excuses. These programs are not in other countries. They are here in Uganda, in every parish, every constituency, in UDB. If anybody is diverting the money, you, since 1986, are empowered to deal with him or her because of the democratic local councils, where you are the ones who elect the leaders. Join the parish savings circle and directly participate in the management of the savings circle. If the money is not enough, tell your MPs to work with me in Kampala to concentrate more money in PDM instead of okumemerera, scattering the okumansa masa, scattering the money in many other programs. Especially for agriculture, you need to protect our environment. We need our wetlands for both our rain and irrigation. We need our forests for the rain and protecting the catchment areas of the river systems, the Elgon, the Rwenzori, the Mabera systems, the Seziwa-Rwajari systems, the Mayanja-Kafurugogo systems, and River Kajera systems. All the rice growing and potato growing in the swamps must stop. And where the terrain allows, we replace rice growing with fish farming at the edge of the swamp, which is more profitable. Then the wetlands come back for irrigation, indigenous medicine, and rain formation. Then we come to the restoration of the natural forests, which guarantee for us the availability of the indigenous medicines, genetic materials, protecting the catchment areas and the rivers and rain formation. I thank the brother countries and sisters from Africa and friends from outside Africa that joined us today on this occasion. Kati rwekwaso zikomye, tetwagala rwekwaso. No more excuses. Everybody wealth creation. At Obugaga, Bwebzare Mirimo. I thank everybody. I would now like to ask His Excellency Ndaishimie, who is the head of the African Union,
that's right.
but also President of Burundi.
The Burundi president.
Because he's the chairperson of the African Union, to come here and greet you on behalf of the visiting president. Thank you so much.